Hello and welcome to this playthrough of Factorio, where I am building a megabase on Earth. I am using a mod, Cities of Earth, focusing on the Old World Hemisphere. My goal is to reach 10,000 science per minute with a rail-based design. The resources are set to maximum size and density, and biters and pollution are turned off. The mod list is shown in the description, as well as a link to my Twitch channel, High Speed. Please come visit me there. Questions and comments are welcome. Thank you for watching. Out to here. I actually don't want you nearby here. Actually, I don't want this here in case that intersection needs to grow. All right. This would go here, but that would become this. Moving closer to where it's going to get used. It comes down to is I didn't have enough green circuits. And that lack of green circuits cascaded into both the yellow science and blue science failed. Blue science originally failed because it didn't have enough sulfur, and then when I fixed the sulfur, there wasn't enough production of red circuits, and that was because I was shunting half the green circuits off to yellow science, purple science to cover the red chips. And when I corrected that, then yellow science ran out of red chips. So I'm just fixing it all by giving each of them their own giving them each their own refinery and their own green circuit production. Yeah, I was trying to be efficient, and say, okay, well, you only need, and then reality came up and bit me on the ass, and it was always needing a little bit more, The example is right here. This red science needs 20,000 green science. Well, that's technically just 16 of these, but it's less than one extra. Yeah, well, I'm doing things a little different. I'm doing a modular build instead of an integrated build. I don't think the extra efficiency gets me much. I have a specific goal in mind, not a max goal, so I think this model is serving me well, and it's fun. I like it. I am definitely enjoying myself, and I'm glad I've done this. There's some things that piss me off, but I'm doing okay. I think, yeah, there's 12 trains here. There's 8 loaders and 12 trains. That's about what I wanted. But I definitely want to assign this station a unique name. Oh, I'm sure it's more efficient than modular. I do some vertical integration. I mean, green and red chips are an example of the integration that I do, and sticks on rails. Right? This is an example of integration. Copper cable going into green chips, and copper cable going into red chips. Putting those on a belt just crushed it. I did not think that was very well done, so I redid it. Similarly, sticks going into rails. So things that are 2x is where I seem to go and change things. All right, almost filled or got it all in there. And I catch a ride on the big emptier. You are going to go there. And then you guys are going to clear all that out. Even designing a neighborhood for blue chip, including required red and green chips, would be an example of integration. Oh, okay. Well, that's certainly less efficient than in-build integration. Well, my neighborhood is yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. All right, so this is going to become a corner. This will become a three-way. No rail deletion. Oh, I'm here. Okay, good. Then just delete everything that's not a chest. You're at 21? Good. And I say, Gopher, I say it's not efficient, not as efficient, is because I'm going to have way over on some things that I'm building, especially when it comes to the plate material. But I think the central design, its claimed efficiency, I think falls way short. Because I don't think the trains route smart enough. I don't even think that when we get to space age and we get the next level train intelligence, I don't think that's going to work either for this situation. It'll be nice, you know, that you don't have to have dedicated trains, but based on the behavior I've seen of trains, you're still going to have to set up some sort of neighborhood locus of control, because even like with LTN, your trains are going to be going all over the place and they're going to be wasting time traveling from side to side. One of the examples I've had is that you have a train like, I've got copper ore right here, copper plate. If this train was not restricted and there was a request for copper here, that train would go there and do that. And this, in the meantime, this would run out. I mean, it's just the way it works. It's not going, who's the closest train? Because the game doesn't understand closest. It does understand time, right? That's what they said in the FFF about bots having slightly more better intelligence now. Is that they do understand who can finish this fastest. And that's a function of distance, or distance is a function of that, however you want to look at it. But they've specifically said many times that they don't keep coordinates, so they don't know distance. So how can a train that doesn't know the concept of distance, or routing for that matter, right? I mean, if it was to keep track of a calculation and say, okay, all the trains cycle through, tell me who has the shortest route to handle this request. I don't know that we'd get a good answer out of that. It would eat up a lot of CPU. And even then, you would still get situations where the fastest one is way on the other side of the map. Planning vertical demands at the same time is a great deal of value rather than just building to your demands. Yeah, I mean, planning has a lot of value. I didn't switch my stuff back. Summer Showers, hello again. I hope you've had a good day. I'm doing a bit of reorganizing. I don't need another one. All right, you guys are all empty. We've cleared most of this away. I'm doing well. I had this working for a while, and then it sort of fell apart, and so now I'm rebuilding things. I have to shuffle around. I ran out of green circuits, basically. You know, same old answer. Yeah, I mean that's why there's a kind of a hint in that there's an achievement. If a game gives you an achievement for like 1,000,000 of something, maybe you should plan on making a lot of it. Just heard this song, gonna skip it. In my case, I thought I had enough, and I technically did have enough, but travel times and double commitments are what did me in. So I'm creating dedicated red circuit, green circuit factories for purple, and I had a shared one between yellow and purple and blue science, because they were all really close to each other in terms of, when you added all three of them up, it was good enough. The problem came in is that once you added in travel times and peak demands, then it was no longer enough. And I probably could have faked it and gotten away with it, but that's not how I roll. Yeah, that's how I want it. For 1,000,000 equipment, the hidden description being, why did I do this? Yeah. 1,000,000 of an equipment? I mean, The reason I use the reverse factory mod, the disassembler that they're going to put in 2.0, the reason I do that is because I had a level 2 prod mod factory that was making prod mods, and it was outputting to a chest, and I didn't cap the chest. And I ended up with like 3,200 level 2 prod mods at a point where I had barely even launched one rocket in my gameplay. And the result was that I didn't know what to do. I was so frustrated and overwhelmed, and I didn't used to shoot chests. I used to care about resources. I used to move resources, even coal. Oh, I see what I did here. I don't care anymore. Yeah, the thing of it is, Pony, with those, they both require blue circuits, so that would suck. That would require 4 million, if not more, green circuits. Yeah, that's 10 processing units, and a processing unit is 20, so that would be 20 million or maybe even 2 billion electronic circuits. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Gopher. Pony was just taking it to the next level. But what we're talking about here is an achievement for something silly. But in my case, what I should have been aware of was not to try and squeeze that. And so now I'm just going to overproduce a little bit, but I'm going to dedicated produce. And to put a visual on it, here's what was going on. Here's the furnace factory, right? The furnace factory needs 21,000 red chips. Now, yellow science needs blue chips. And these blue chips, and it uses them directly. It was using these red chips, right? So between the two of them, 29,200 red chips. One of these is 14,000. Two of them is 27,000. Now, when I laid this out, and here's where the flaw and the failure, when I laid this out, I only had 3 furnace lines, not 4. So I didn't have 32 furnace, I had 24. So you look at this and you're like, oh yeah, 248. These two can share a pair of red circuit builds. One red circuit build dedicated to blue, that's what I had, or to purple, that's what I had here. And then half of this red circuit build can go over there to the purple. What I didn't count on, what I didn't take into account is when I expanded purple furnaces because they were running short, is I neglected to expand red circuits. And so now purple furnaces were stealing these red circuits larger than they could handle. And that also resulted in, because this was using this green circuit, because I had extra green circuits over here. And so these green circuits were coming over here, which was robbing this red circuit of its additional green circuits. And so blue science ran out of red circuits because I ran out of green circuits. And then yellow science ran out of blue circuits because I ran out of red circuits and I ran out of green circuits. I need a drink. So what I'm doing to deal with that is I'm making 2 red circuit factories up here. But to make 2 red circuit factories up here, I need plastic. And what I figured out is that one of my refineries, one refinery set like this, refinery plus yellow to petro cracking plus red to yellow cracking, this produces enough to support 2 plastic builds that I do with a little bit left over. Right? Just a little bit left over, 24 total, a total. This isn't much. This plastic eats that. So, I could get 3 out of it if I really tried. But then I'm in really tight territory. So the solution is to take the red away from here and then build it properly up here. And for that to work, I need to restructure this a little bit. This is probably going to become a T-junction. So I'll pop this, I'll tap these 2 oils, build at least 1 station, probably 2. Run a rail either along here or up there, but probably along here. Build my oil processing here so that I can make use of this water. And doesn't that look like the Great Lakes a little bit? Doesn't that look like Michigan with this up here instead of down there? Anyhow, here's an iron. I need 1 iron and 2 coppers. Now I'm trying to figure out, and this is just the skeleton of the full copper, or of the full smelter array. Sorry about that. If I do anything like this and this, because they're really close to each other, so if I do anything like that, they kind of clobber each other. Right? I could, in theory, go here, bring it out a little bit, and shift it down, which is basically what I did right here. Is I shifted this copper over because it wouldn't fit next to it. I'm really tempted to start things up again so I can get that last. But I shut all this off and I don't have yellow. How much do you have? I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I really want to get this. I mean, it's $1 million research to get this. It's $1 million to get this research. So, look, I'd like to get it just for the giggles. Anyhow, I need to put a radar down here so that I can see this, but I don't want to clutter things up. So this is not where this is going to go, but it's where it's going to go. By the way, I have a YouTube channel, and I would appreciate if y'all would go there and subscribe just so that I can get up to 500 subscribers and hope to monetize it a little bit. That would feel really nice. Exclamation point YT. Skeletor array. It is a playlist of this playthrough plus the previous one where I did Factorio 2, and I played a couple other variety games that I enjoyed. Thank you. This is quite good. So we're pretty much guaranteed going to put this here pointing this way. And then this part's a theory. If I do the same thing here, how far do I have to do that? Now, the smelting array needs to be aligned on a power pole line. So I expect that the belts are going to have some adjustment, right? Oh, look at that fat bitch. Whoo, doggy. Now, I don't even know if this is a good idea because I'm going to be running into the other things, right? So I'm going to pull these, I'm going to be pulling these right out onto a main traffic line. And then I still got to put two red Jesus. Two red stacks. That's spectacular in terms of this lineup. I mean, yeah, I got to run a beltway up there, but damn, that looks good. But this doesn't even come close. If I run this even higher, I don't really want to, because then I'd be able to run this one here. So what I'm doing here is just playing, not Jenga, I'm playing Lego. I don't even know if it's, I don't know what the word is. It's the opposite of Jenga. If I move that up one, I can get that to fit there. I'm just slapping pieces together to see what sort of layout I can get. That's going to be some long frickin' belt. Tetris, yeah. Something like that. Am I trying to cram things in too tight? And these maybe don't go here. Do you have any radar on you? Yes, you do. All right, come over here. Give me back a radar that I took away and should not have. Because I'm going to put two oil loading things. So watch me get distracted, right? Oh, God, I got to build oil. I fucking hate building oil. How accessible is this copper versus those two? Nah, I don't want to do that. I don't see me doing this way. These are probably going to go up and then come back around. Because the iron's going to come from here. So these probably ain't going to happen. This is still too close. It really needs to come way up here. Interesting way to say baby. So an oil loader is pretty small. Although, I'd like to point out, thanks to Mango, I recently enhanced my coal loading like this, and it's spectacular. I love it. On my oil, I thought oil would load really fast, and it does not, even when fed from two directions. And these things are constantly busy. So what I'm thinking of doing is, instead of 2 lanes, is 4 pipes coming up. And also doubling how many of these there are. So this is here and probably shouldn't be. If I run this as close as I can to that, it's going to be here. If that's there, this oil a tank in 2 seconds, if the pipe can handle it, right? But the pipes can't. So how many you don't have any power poles? Well, sorry, I got distracted. Here's what I generally do. Now this kind of goes in a crooked angle because I built this and then moved this, but in general, why did you leave right away? Where are you going that you didn't stay? You're pretty much full. 2 tanks were empty of crude on the left side middle. Okay, so it's sitting here, destination full now. When I see really big imbalances like this, with tank 2 being more empty than the others, and especially consider that my loaders are all balanced. You can't see it very well, but my loaders all have a balancing thing. I didn't want to have to do that, but fluids are a shit show. If you try and do them independently, they just don't work well. The part that bothered me, that made me stop and look, is that train came in, stopped, and immediately left, which means it was full when it got there. And, I mean, they fill fast, but they don't fill that fast. So, because of how rich this oil is, I mean, 215%, for fuck's sakes, 155%, 1,000%, I thought there's no way that I'm going to be able to pump all these patches. This is 27 patches, so I just always just split it in half, and I figured it would go down. It's not. These damn things are staying pretty full, and so 2 pipes transferring this oil. As you can see, it's just not filling these tanks quickly. So in future ones, I'm thinking I'm going to, and maybe the flaw is here, is that I'm only using 1 pipe here, and I'm using 2 pumps, and that's the choke point, but 2 pipes coming in is feeding 1, 2, 3, 4 wagons. Yeah, it is a lot of patches. It's crazy. It's made my life, it's made this run possible. I'm solving problems, but I'm not having to build new outposts, which is beautiful to me. So I probably should, for the next one that I do, instead of 2 pipes out, do 4 pipes out, and just have a pump feeding 2 wagons. So what I'm looking for is for these things to fill up faster. Yeah, I'm not looking for fill it fully. I'm looking for fill it fast. And it's not a critical thing. It's just something I'm mulling over. Oh, and did I mention that I absolutely swear word deleted, hate swear word deleted, setting up redacted oil fields. Now this is going to go here, and it's going to be a T-junction because the other one's going to run up there. Yeah, I've played with that before, Nader. Nowadays, I just delete the tank. I don't care. Yeah, while it's plenty of buffer, what happens is on a lot of these, like this one here, this is a beautiful setup. I absolutely love this. I'm happy with this. When this tank or when this train leaves, another train's going to come in, it's going to fill up. Eventually, it's going to drain it out, right? The time for these tanks to get half full, 25,000, which is what these combinators are triggered on, is a long time compared to how fluids transfer. You know, it takes about 10 seconds to go from empty to full with this pump. It's just a massively fast. Maybe it's only, oh, yes. Woohoo, that was a million. It's just amazingly fast how good that transfers. But getting from this pipe out to here, it ain't so fast. So I'm looking to say, what if I double the number of lanes that I'm bringing in? Instead of only bringing two here, I'll bring two here. You know, I'll bring one here, one here, one here, and one here. So I'll have 4 lanes of pipe in. Because I think I'm overestimating how much fluid a pipe can handle when transferring from the field to the station. Yeah, thanks for letting me work on that. Now I understand what it is I was doing and thinking. So I appreciate y'all letting me work through that mentally. That was cool. That's one of the reasons I stream. Coming up here is the part of the song that made me a fan of Pink because of her vocal skills. When she goes into this, I can't remember the word for it. Is that too close? Oh, the hell are you doing not responding? Oh, I missed it already. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. Try that out. That didn't work. Okay, the song's going to tell you to call 911. Don't do that unless you need to. Not because the song said to do so. No, you're not. How could you not have power? Oh. It's pretty emphatic about it, though. All right. So another option is to try and put some of the oil processing in here. Now, this is a very compact oil processing that is way too overbuilt. We'll ignore the fact that it has oil attached to it. Or water. Because we're going to get some water in there. So in theory, so there's no reason for me to consider this a 4-lane, is there? Well, you're going to get oil from there and oil from there, and you're going to have, yeah, okay. Jesus, that's savage. Bruh. Just a guy. 16. I'm doing okay. How are you? Well, to properly spec this, that goes there, as I recall. Yeah, I think that's how that would go. That would go there. Ah, shit. That's in the wrong place. In Australia, 9 still connects you to emergency services at 00 because we absorb wholly too much American media and people tend to panic in those situations. I don't know what to say about that without being offensive. Yeah, just a guy. A long time ago, somebody made a comment. Somebody much wiser than me said that America really doesn't need to use their military to conquer other nations, because Barbie dolls and blue jeans will do it all. So your water probably. How much water can I get out of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so your water can come from there because this is all getting landfilled. But this doesn't need to get landfilled. So I can pull water here. Now that's 1/3 of what I need to get. So Bye, Pony. Thank you. FTL, what a good game. I have to say though, because my skills aren't that good, what I did with FTL is I installed a mod that made it so that the bad guys don't advance. That way I could. This song's not playing. That way I could enjoy exploring without being. And I know that's not how the game's supposed to be played, but I like to play games my way. So that's oil. Oil. Let me do a 0. What happened to my lamps? No signals. And the reason I'm going to go 4-lane here is because there's a lot of traffic here. I mean, this has got 5 coming in. And they get in each other's way. Especially because their load and unload time is so small. So one of those is going to have to be a T-junction. I certainly don't want to make this a 4-way. Craft Formation. Is it a great game? So if I don't do that, then I have to do this. Yeah. One of the things I really set my friends off, they didn't appreciate what I had to say. I said, pretty much every game I play, I am going to compare it to Factorio. And they're like, well, dude, you can't. That's not even